Okay, recently got to see the Lion King musical. I've not seen the movie, so yes, like most movies that are reviewed that are based off books, I haven't read the book. This time I saw a musical based on a movie that I've never seen. Now, not being a huge fan of Disney or musicals in general, it's kind of apprehensive about going to see this. But my wife wanted to go, so I decided to go with her and a bunch of friends from church. This play is very, very visual. You know, when they do things like the main tigers, main lions. Sorry, Mustafa and Scar. It's kind of like a weird neck device that has like a lion head above their actual head. So when they do certain head moves like this, you see the mask come down and it looks like it's actually a lion talking to somebody. When they do things like gazelles, and they'll have somebody who's wearing a costume that kind of matches the color of the floor, and they'll have like like a gazelle on each arm, and kind of one attached to their heads, and through their body movement, it gives a look of like running gazelles. They have a woman who's always doing kind of it's like a lioness, and from the way she walks and the animatronics in front of her, you get the actual smooth walk, like can like scratch its head and like lick its paws. From that standpoint, phenomenal practical effects. They have people who are walking kind of in like a mountain climber position, and they're wearing like giant stilts. They look like giraffes. So you have what look like people in essentially animatronics, all practical effects, doing all of these really bizarre and unique things. When they go talk to the hyenas, there are two different styles. There are the ones where it's just a person with like little like paw hands, and some costume they do more dancing styles, and the ones that actually have more dialogue where the front two arms, they're the two legs, but to talk and move the head, you see the person's arm come out and then go to where the head is, so they can move the head around and do the talking through that. And from what I've been told, it follows the movie fairly well. And of course, the movie is your fairly basic, Disney coming of age story where a relative kills the king, finds some sort of way to blame the prince. Prince leaves, goes to the journey of discovering himself, and then ends up going back to challenge to reclaim his kingdom. This of course is told through animals. So other ones, like the bird. The bird advisor, the guy who was doing it has great comedic timing because he essentially run out with a puppet, a very good puppet. So he's got different ways of turning the head, and it works. That works fairly well. The person to Timon, essentially you get to see a person in a suit with a giant like lemur. I think he's meerkat, giant meerkat in front of him, doing all the talking. So he had to talk through it. When you see people dressed up and look like it's an elephant, it's done very well, highly imaginative. If you get an opportunity to see it, even if you're not a huge fan of plays, the musical numbers there, for the most part, they're pretty good. The person who did, I think it's Rafiki. I think that would be the baboon like soothsayer, was fantastic in the Chicago performance. I think she probably got the biggest ovation out of everybody. It's wildly imaginative. If you're a fan of practical effects, I like horror movies. I like the older ones where the effects are primarily practical. There's no special effects. When they show the animals, it's interesting to look at them and go, okay, so where's the person at? When they have them like walking across like plains, you might actually see people essentially wearing what look like hunks of grass, and they'll try to do certain movements to give the effect of winds blowing through the grass, and it's done well. It's interesting. Again, have you never seen the movie? I'll assume it follows the exact same course, but that is Lion King the musical.